Hey, Brandon. It's been a long 48 hours, buddy.
Is this the most that's happened in 48 hours between our shows ever?
I think so. I mean, I put out like a dozen videos in one day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was nuts.
Aaron Jones goes to the enemy. Packers spend some money in free agency. That's a surprise.
We did.
Cowboys do nothing. Aaron Rodgers is going to save our country. Hail to the chief, for the chief he needs hailing. Aaron Rodgers will be vice president. Vice president.
We're so screwed.
His first legal action as VP, send Jimmy Kimmel to jail.
We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is GPS. We did it. Crushed it. I don't really think we have anything to talk about, dude.
No, I mean, I could do the next 58 minutes on Aaron Rodgers if you want. Do you think you would pardon Brett Favre? You think he would just be like, as vice president?
Definitely not. Definitely not. He's like, you made me sit behind you, you didn't teach me. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Doubles down on punishing Favre?
Yeah, absolutely. That one, you're going to see some Law and Order there. Yeah, you know what was really funny is I saw that, and I had a few people DM me, and they're like, can you talk about this? And I sent out like a stupid-ass tweet that was just like, yeah, let's like play this through, right? Like the Chiefs like beat the Jets in the AFC Championship game after Aaron Rodgers already sworn in as VP, and then like the Chiefs had to go. And then I deleted it because I was like, I don't have to talk about this. I don't have to care. I don't have to give a flying crap. Jets fans, as I said, have fun, enjoy the time. It's going to be crazy, but allow no distractions, though. Don't allow any distractions. No distractions. Like, what timeline are we in where that is a thing coming from Tom Pelissero, who's just like, yeah, so, the Chargers, they might release a few people. Aaron Jones going to the Vikings, and Aaron Rodgers might be running for vice president of the United States. Like, all in one, it's just, yep, this is where we are now. And people are like, yeah, all right, that's just where we are. I think we are just collectively just beaten down, and we're just like, yeah, whatever crazy news is coming out next, that's fine. Antonio Brown is tweeting out things that I don't even know how they found their way to my timeline about Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. And it's just, it's a time. It's a time out here, Brandon.
Aaron Rodgers, NFL quarterback, Jeopardy host, vice president. What's next? I feel like he's going to be like a captain of a cruise ship for a year. It's like, yeah, I just decided I'm going to drive this cruise ship. Like, you're playing quarterback for the Jets. He's like, no, I'm not.
Nah, week 7, I'm going to take a week just to go.
He's like, I want to learn to navigate a boat. That's who I am this week.
That's it. There you go.
Honestly, though, and look, I disagree with a fair amount of what Aaron Rodgers says. But he might be an upgrade. He might be an upgrade, Tom.
Dude.
That's the sad state of affairs.
Legitimately, though, like, nothing's going to happen in that regard. But, bro, I just don't know how you could say we don't want any distractions. Also, low key, I might be helping a presidential campaign by being a running mate this year. So November might be a little tough for me, guys. Who we play in week 9? It might be a little tough.
Yeah, he's like, it may be like, because this is the thing. This information doesn't get out there unless Aaron Rodgers wants it to, I believe.
Of course.
Right? Like, if RFK approaches him like, would you be interested? And he's like, no, dude, I gotta play quarterback, you know? he's like, well,
Doing
maybe. Because he could just be like, no, I'm flattered. Obviously, I'm flattered. Maybe when I'm done playing football. But now it is out there. It is a distraction. It will be a story anyway. Maybe it's a story that just takes away from, what's happening on the field. But I will say, if Aaron Rodgers did get in that position and you are an enemy of Aaron Rodgers, be afraid. Be very afraid because he's coming after your ass.
Oh, yeah.
He is. If he's got unchecked power, I am going to delete any bad thing I ever said about that man.
Thinking about it. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, we live in a hellscape. Anyway. But also on the field, there's been a lot of changes these past 48 hours, Brandon. A lot. Yeah. You mentioned the Green Bay Packers. A lot happened with the Green Bay Packers most recently. Keyshawn Nixon coming on back for a little bit of a sizable contract. And Aaron Jones for an hour. The Green Bay Packers had the best running back tandem in the league. Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones. We were ready to seize the day, and then that lasted an hour. Dave Bakhtiari got released. Aaron Jones got released. They signed Xavier McKinney. And yeah, just a lot going on with the Green Bay Packers, and not a lot going on with the Dallas Cowboys. Not so much.
But yes, no, the Cowboys have done nothing. Mm-hmm. When it was like Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs, you're like, okay, those are two very good backs.
Stole Devontae.
I was like, but how do you actually kind of work with two number one backs, right? Like, I feel like the guy whose touches are going to get diminished there, it's Aaron Jones. And we saw last year when he's healthy and he's getting touches, that's the Packers offense was cooking.
Yeah.
So them deciding to just go with Josh Jacobs makes a lot more sense because I feel like both of those backs to be fully effective need carries.
Sure.
And that just probably wasn't going to happen there. But I get it. It sucks. Like everybody loved Aaron Jones, but like the Packers still have a very good running back in Josh Jacobs. Very different stylistically, the way they run, the way they get yards, in my opinion. That was funny. Just to see him go to the Vikings, though. Dude. Oh, it's like, okay, you're going to release me? Now I can go anywhere? The only one who topped him was Saquon Barkley. He had a bigger view to his former team.
Patrick Queen going to the Steelers is fun.
Too, going to the Dolphins. Yeah. It's like
Queen going to the Steelers is pretty.
Some spite moves. I love it.
There was definitely and Barkley like getting into it with Tiki Barber online. And it's just like, don't you be smiling at me now. Like you've been talking crap ever since I've been. Which again, I think what we again learned from free agency is that lesson we learn every single year. And you even saw it with Justin Simmons, right? Fan favorite. Beloved in Denver. Bye. Right? Aaron Jones approached and is like, you're going to have to take a significant pay cut if you're going to want to come back. People love Aaron Jones, like favorite player on the team. Bye. Right? Saquon, you're not going to offer me anything? Bye. And I think it's just, this is why I and Perna too are always get your money. Like Ryan Grant, who's a very good friend of the show, he like tweeted out too. He's just like, this is what the business is. Like no matter the organization, the majority of them are going to say, no, like if we don't think that this is what your market value is, this is what we're going to give you. And the last time that I think we saw like a really high profile allowing them to have like a swan song is the Pittsburgh Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah. Because like he should have been gone. And they're like, nope, let's parade him out there. You know, he can have his moment. They were very mediocre. And they've kind of been in this weird spot ever since. Yeah. So I get it. And that's where like the fandom comes from of like, you have these emotional ties to these players who play for your team. And the team, if you're a good GM, even though it's harsh, they're going to be like, no, like we're doing the best for the team, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. And I think with like the Tiki Barber thing, it turned into just now it's a meme. Like every player, when one of their teammates is leaving, like Lamar Jackson's done it a couple times. He's like, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill did it. You're dead to me. And I like the current players just laughing at Tiki and him being really ridiculous. And we kind of have that in Denver right now, like with Mark Schlereth, who is just like, and he's not wrong. Like the Broncos had to just, they're rebuilding. They're committed to a rebuild. They finally committed to it. We talked about it. But I just saw him this morning, just like going in on, it was like a group of players. It was like Jewel, it was Justin Simmons and Jerry Jeudy. And somebody was tweeting about how like a bunch of household names are gone. And Mark Schlereth was like, good, get them the hell out of here. We did nothing with any of these guys.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like as a player, you don't have to say that. Like Tiki may not like it, but you know, I think everybody understands Saquon went to a better situation. And the Giants basically held him prisoner last year. He was in
didn't give him an
football
offer.
prison.
Like, bro, I'm sorry. They didn't give him an offer.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing out here?
They forced him to come back. They gave him a tiny pay bump. Their offensive line was shit. Dan Jones got hurt. He faced like stacked boxes, I think more than any running back in the league last year. And now he goes to a good offensive line. And I know the Eagles are losing Jason Kelce, but that line's still good. They know how to run the ball. I think they're focusing on getting back to running the ball. And if you've got to defend Saquon Barkley, you got to defend Jalen Hurts, and they still have their weapons in the receiving game, then you assume the Eagles offense will be what we saw at the, you know, previous year and before that. So Saquon improved himself financially, and he went to a better spot. And he is driving Giants fans crazy.
Yes.
And for the Giants fans who actually still have any sort of hope, like I think the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Broncos in free agency are in similar spots. But the Broncos and Giants don't have a quarterback. And now it feels like more than ever, the Giants are going to draft a QB where they're sitting.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys have done nothing. We thought they might do stuff. The Broncos have done nothing, but we expected them to.
And I think like both viewpoints can exist, right? There's nuance there where, let's take Aaron Jones, for example. Aaron Jones legitimately was like my favorite Packers player, like on this current roster, because like, he's just that guy. Great for the community, great for the team, represents it whole nine. I've spoke endlessly on Aaron Jones.
Really helped Sombrero stock too.
It's true. So with Aaron Jones, like I get it, because from his perspective of like, you're asking me to take a pay cut again after I took one last year, so I'm not going to do that. And that makes sense. You got to do what's best for you, right? So I understand his decision to be like, nah. At the same time, while it is incredibly painful, I understand from the team's perspective of like, hey, you're 29 years old. You didn't play all your games last week, like year. You're dealing with injuries. And while we love you for the team, organization, locker room, etc., you know, we're going to offer you what we think is market value, which, by the way, the Packers weren't very far off on because he only got a 1-year, $7 million deal anyway.
Right.
But it's just like, as a fan, that hurts. But you could understand, like, it doesn't feel good, but this is the business aspect of it. And like, same thing with Giants letting guys go. Like, McKinney going doesn't make the Giants a better team. Saquon leaving doesn't make the Giants a better team. But they're like, we're not going to give these guys major contracts, especially when we're in this weird rebuild. Instead, we'll go get a guy like Brian Burns for a second and a fifth. We'll talk about you, Panthers, and give him a bunch of money to hopefully like make that pass.
Yeah, that's
rush
a good
better,
pickup for the Giants.
By the way, I see Keenan Allen at least going probably today.
Too, yeah.
Bosa potentially too.
The fact that the Chargers haven't done anything yet, made a decision there, seems a little silly. But one of the most savage moves was the Packers giving Josh Jacobs the exact same contract they gave Aaron Jones in 2021.
Yeah.
With $500,000 less guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jones had $13 million guaranteed. Josh Jacobs gets $12.5 million, and it's the same deal. 4-year, $48 million or whatever.
Which, by the way, none of those other, like, it's basically a signing bonus, and then like he's gonna get like $14.1 million, I think, like the first year. And then after that, they have an out. Like, they just like, if you suck, like, we're gone.
Yeah.
So they can be done. It all hits this year, and then they're rocking.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Oh yeah, Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless invited the world to go all in his ass.
It's true.
It's amazing.
It's true. What was kind of one of the biggest moves that surprised you, Perna? Like thus far? Because first of all, I did think like we're talking like winners of free agency too. I know that was an alternate title. The Texans, I like what they're doing. The Texans are having a grand old time out here.
Yeah, nice.
Kirk Cousins finally went somewhere, went to the Atlanta Falcons.
That one was one of those things where it wasn't a surprise, but
Yeah.
that's because we'd kind of been prepared for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how good is Kirk Cousins really? We're going to find out. I think he improved the situation a little bit. The Vikings replacing him with Sam Darnold. Thank you, Minnesota. Don't have to worry about that. Every quarterback that keeps getting linked to the Broncos that signed somewhere else, I'm like, thank you, Jesus Christ.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Because who do you want now, Brandon?
Nobody. I don't want him to sign a single guy.
I'm standing up on this because I have been fighting against this narrative for months. Where's Justin Fields going, Brandon? Where's he going, huh? How much is he going for? I told you at getting a third. Maybe. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot because the Falcons were the best place for him.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Raiders, and they both went in different directions. So
Gardner Minshew to your arch nemesis.
That hurt. That surprised me.
Yes. Yes.
He's dead to me.
Mm-hmm.
A little cut off, short wearing jerkwad. Just kidding. I love you, Gardner.
You love Gardner
never
Minshew.
quit you.
Well, I can't believe you did. How dare you? How dare you? Bro.
I'm just glad he didn't go to Kansas City to like back up Mahomes. That would have really.
Why?
Really
you don't want him to
stung.
win a Super Bowl?
Huh? No,
He
not for
could
those. Not for those devil worshipping sadists.
Purple incarnation is Satan.
Every Chiefs fan loves Satan, and people know that. The great city of Kansas City, #1 in devil worshiping merchandise.
Jeez.
You're
good now.
I think it's been a couple days, but I still think Christian Wilkins going to the Raiders was a really good move for the Raiders.
Agree.
He's a great player, and Max Crosby was already great, and you put those two on the same line. I don't like that. Surprise. I'm trying to think what really surprised me.
Let's go. Devin White. Coverage is bad.
There's nothing that was super surprising. The Washington Commanders not spending any of their money. That's a surprise. I think they still have the most cap room. Let me look. Yeah. 75 mil in cap space. They got glaring holes on their roster. I thought maybe a couple splash signings for the Commanders, but none.
Doing heavy lifting. Yeah, no, there hasn't been like those really crazy signings. But again, technically free agency begins in 5 hours.
Yeah,
right?
That's the thing.
So you're going to see the Chargers make a whole bunch of moves because they have to for their cap. So you're going to see a bunch of releases / trades in the next few hours. One, you still have T. Higgins, who's hanging out there, right? That could be a big splashy move. And then depending on if Justin Fields gets moved.
Yeah, those are the big... And the Vikings said they're not trading Justin Jefferson. The fact that they haven't gotten the deal done with him yet is... I don't say surprising, but they let Kirk go. They don't have to pay Kirk. So it's like there's no reason to not pay Justin Jefferson whatever he wants.
Correct.
Like you're going to overpay him a couple $1 million a year right now because you have Sam Darnold as your quarterback. They're going to draft a QB at this point. So, while the Falcons are out on a QB, Denver still got freaking Minnesota right ahead of them. And the Giants, who could snake a quarterback.
Minnesota is obviously going to draft a quarterback. I mean, that is very,
and they
very obvious.
Allegedly the man the Broncos like, and J.J. McCarthy. So, cool.
I mean,
the question is, do one of those teams try and move into the top 3?
See, that I don't know. I actually like what the Vikings have been doing too. I like they brought in Cashman because I talked about him potentially going for the Packers. He was pretty damn good with the Texans. They bring in a pass rusher, right? Aaron Jones, I think, is going to help because they needed one after Madison went away. Yeah. Like they're doing. They just need a quarterback, and I think that the Vikings are committed to be like, hey, this is going to be a long rebuild. Aaron Jones is just a 1-year spite signing that he can carry the rock and he'll do well. But
but that really improved an area of need for the Vikings.
Sure.
We all
don't
thought
think they're going to be super competitive this year.
Yeah, we thought Alexander Madison was going to thrive as the feature back for the Vikings, and it just didn't work out last year.
No.
But they need QB.
But speaking of Kirk Cousins, like I am very curious your thoughts about it. I know this is like old news at this point, but do you like that contract? Because a lot
No.
of it was it's 4 years coming off a major injury. It's a lot of guaranteed money. Good for Kirk getting his money.
Yeah.
But damn, like there's a good amount of risk there for the Falcons.
Dude, like Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson just holding the fucking knife to the throat of the next organization they go to. That's what that is to me. And I love Kirk. You guys know I love Big Kirko.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's good. I think he's a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But, and like we talk about, you and I are very pro players getting their money.
Yeah.
And I am that until that player has made well over $100 million. Then I'm like, you know what? Maybe have a little more wiggle room. And it's annoying to me that Kirk Cousins going to make over $300 million in his career. And he has one playoff win right now. One playoff win. One.
See, that's why I'm torn.
He upgraded his situation. It's good for him. He upgraded his situation.
Sure.
He's got the weapons. Better offensive line right now. 2 very good running backs. But if he doesn't
talk about
it, I think he will. I think the Falcons will win that division. But I don't care until that they get to the playoffs. If they lose in the first round of the playoffs,
I know that Bears fans will be like, goodbye, we're not going to give you that anyway. Like Darnell Mooney, like I feel like he's had those flashes of like, oh, he can, but he's just not consistent enough to actually give him a major contract. But the Falcons have enough weapons that Kirk can be successful. I just don't know. Like I said, I was torn before with the Vikings. Like they gave Kirk Cousins 2 major contracts, right? When they first signed him, it was like $84 million, like guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed.
Like, whoa, this is insane. And I liked that signing for the Vikings because I was like, good, because I don't think he's going to bring them to where they need to be.
Yeah.
I think with Kirk Cousins, there needs to, like, he's an underrated quarterback. I think he's a very good quarterback. He needs significant pieces around him if he's going to kind of like take you to where you want to go. Like, he seems like, yeah, he'll get you to the postseason, might even like win a playoff game. It gets tougher after that because 1, football's a team sport, but 2, he's not that elite guy unless he has some really good talent around him. And he's going to get some good talent around him in Atlanta.
Yeah, he's got tons. And I heard a thing that Kevin O'Connell wanted him back, but the rest of the Vikings brass didn't. So we don't know what the inner workings there are.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I want to give him shit for not being a little more willing to take a hometown discount, however you want to phrase it, because the Vikings gave him everything he wanted.
Sure.
When he came there. And to me, it's like, you want, after a point, you want like a little bit of loyalty from the players too. And it's just never going to be that way in the NFL anymore. You know what I mean?
It's not that way from the teams.
Guys got to maximize what they can get. But I would have liked to see him stay in Minnesota, honestly.
Sure.
But I'm happy that he went to Atlanta. I just like, it's a lot of money. And if it doesn't win, then he looks in like, if he doesn't win there in 2 years, he looks like Russell Wilson.
It's a lot of money though. Like it's a business. Like it legit is a business. And I think we put a lot of onus on the players too of like, oh dude, like all that Saquon Barkley stuff, he was getting like destroyed by some Giants fans. And of course it's gonna be any fan base, right? But like just like the most hateful crap. And it's just like, guys, like your own organization didn't give him a contract.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want him to go do? Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's like the thing with the Vikings. They might have not made an actual play to bring him back. We don't know how this
is. Yeah, Goody doesn't want to. LaFleur doesn't want to. But they're not going to let their emotions or like how much he's beloved by the team / players. And some people will disagree with this. Get in the way of an evaluation of, hey, like this is how much you're worth. This is what the market is dictating your worth. Which again, they're not that far off.
Yeah.
They're not. So, yeah. So I read about this too. Patrick Mahomes also, like, he's getting paid what he was owed. They're just giving it to him in a different way.
Yeah.
So like he's still, it's not like a necessarily like discount or anything. He's still getting paid. They're just
He
taking
freed
kind of
up money this
Yeah.
year. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
that was going to be something that was like when he signed that contract, we were like, they can, in a couple years, they can finagle whatever money they need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course the Chiefs are going, like, I get it. Yeah, it sucks.
Nice.
They're going to be good again. They would have been good with or without Chris Jones. Chris, like, and so many people tweeted me about Chris Jones. I knew he was going back to the, like, I never thought Chris Jones was going to leave. Once they said franchise tag for Snead, it's like, okay, they're going to get a deal done with Chris Jones. Like, they are. You don't let a guy that dominant up front go when you're still competitive, and they are. So, yes, I accepted the fact that they might be back in the Super Bowl the minute they won the last Super Bowl, okay? Until I see different. If I swear to God, if like the Vikings trade them Justin Jefferson or some shit, then I will lose my shit.
I would be so torn with that.
I will. Yeah, you get rid of a thorn in your side.
But their reign of terror would last like a decade.
Yeah,
but
that would be an all-in move for the Chiefs.
Speaking of all-in, Brandon, there is one team I would like to talk about.
Who?
The Dallas Cowboys. Because
all in, baby. Yeah, Smith Jones. I forgot what I mean.
Cowboys fans are getting a little restless.
Yeah.
And I wanna put out a healthy reminder here. Just because your team does a lot in free agency does not mean that they are going to be amazing. Right? That's number one. And you find that a lot of teams that are doing the most usually are the ones have like either a ton of cap, they're not doing that great, and they just need to like fill some holes and are like, okay. The Cowboys, though, when you say we're going all in and you set that expectation and then turn around and do kind of what you've done this free agency, which is not much, that's where you're going to have this disconnect. If the Cowboys didn't say anything and we're just like, we're going to try to strengthen our roster wherever we can, blah, 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 there isn't as much pushback. But now, what could they do? Like, is it trading for a T. Higgins? Of saying if they get a true, like, wide receiver too, because Cooks was good at times, but then, like, fell off at times. You get T. Higgins, you make the trade. Would that satisfy Cowboys fans, you think, of, like, that's going all in? Or is that ship kind of already sailed?
I don't know if it's sailed, but I don't think they need to go, like, all in. They just need to have a smart offseason.
Wilkins,
and that's like what you're saying. Like, sometimes the splash signings in free agency work out and they make your team, much better.
Sure.
If you're signing multiple big name players, usually that just doesn't work out the way you think it will. A lot of times I think free agency is one from now for like the next week or two when guys find value in solid contributors.
Yes.
And I don't think the Cowboys were that far away from being able to get to the Super Bowl in terms of from a talent perspective. Okay. Cowboys got to figure out how to get it out of their own way. Nobody was like, the Cowboys don't have the players to go all the way. They're just the fucking Cowboys. Like, we don't trust Mike McCarthy. Nobody trusts Dak completely. The big games, they don't show up. Like, that's just what it is. They can find a running back. A running back, if you got a decent offensive line, a running back's not the hardest position to find. They got CeeDee Lamb. They can find a piece in the draft at any spot they think they need. So now it's like it's addressing whatever positions the Cowboys really need. Whether they got to bring in another linebacker for depth, or do they need another corner piece with the injury to Gilmore? Fine. But like, I don't think they need to do a lot. It's one of those things where it's like you want a shiny new toy, but maybe you need some fucking socks for Christmas. Maybe that's what you actually need, guys.
I think the Dolphins have had solid signings, but they've also lost some pieces too. And losing like Wilkins hurts.
Yeah, they've
gotten solid
it was like
pieces.
At first they were just losing dudes. You're like, dude.
Yeah.
Robert Hunt, right? They lost on their line. And then but the Dolphins did sign Shaquille Barrett, which I wanted to talk about.
They got Shaq Barrett.
That one was like that was a knife to the heart too, because who's Shaquille Barrett playing with now? Bradley Chubb. Why did the Broncos decide they didn't want to bring Shaquille Barrett back? Because they drafted Bradley Chubb instead of Josh Allen. And Shaq left Denver, went on 19 and a half sacks. And now we'll get to see Shaq and Chubb on the same front. That's a nice pickup. They lost Andrew Van Ginkel too, the Dolphins. So, that's
Van Ginkel. Yes. Listen, there's going to be an exodus of talent. Like that just, it is. And now they're going to have to find ways to win with the roster that they have. And their offense should still be really good. But defense, which has been a problem in the past, might continue. I'll see what they do in the draft.
I think so like Justin Fields real quick. Like if you're the Bears and you're like, what should we do? Should we bring Fields back or should we draft a quarterback? When free agency opens up and you have no interest for Justin Fields, I think that tells you everything you need to know about what you should do as an organization or whether you made like the right decision. Like if you release a player that say fans really liked, but then nobody's like signing that guy right away. Like, okay, maybe it's like a confirmation. Maybe we really did make the right move.
Joey Bosa, not Nick.
Yeah, it's Joey Bosa.
Joey. One of them, maybe.
The tough decision there for the Chargers is Bosa's younger. He's like 28, Max 33.
Yeah.
But Mac's been better and healthier. Well. Bosa can never, like, he's hurt every year, I feel like. I would cut him. I would cut him both. I would cut everybody if I were the Chargers.
I wouldn't give up a lot for Fields, though. I wouldn't at all.
No, he's, now it's like Fields only makes sense to Seattle. I'll say Denver, but he doesn't make sense because I don't think Sean Payton, he's got the same issues Russ does. Other than that, it's like a backup role for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
The fits are like he's been linked to the Eagles, makes a little bit of sense, or the Colts. Like if anybody can help him, I think it is Shane Steichen. And if something happened to Anthony Richardson, the way you kind of want to play in that offense, Fields could probably run it in a similar manner. But it's like, where's he going to go? There's not the starting jobs for Justin Fields.
Almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Unless he goes to like the Giants and competes with Daniel Jones.
Giants would make a little bit of sense. Yeah.
Giants, if they're just like, hey, here's a 4th round pick. Have a nice day. It'll be an early 4th rounder. They want to go as high as 3 they could. Here you go. We'll get him. Compete with Jones at camp. Yeah. And then you still could draft your guy. Like, there's options that you have.
Yeah. There's also the option that the Bears can keep him and draft Caleb Williams or whoever they like at 1. And they take the pressure off of that guy to start right away. And I don't think that's a situation that is going to happen. But like at this point, if you can't get anything for Fields, having a starting caliber quarterback to give, even if it is the number 1 overall pick, time with your team, that's not the worst thing.
It's fair. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that too. It's just, it's a good amount. And like, yeah, there's outs, but it's later. So like, if Cousins shows up and he's not good, then it's going to be a problem. Then it's like, oh, okay, now we're stuck with this for a while. So,
and he'll be good. Cousins will be above average, as he always is.
He's going to be an upgrade. Like at the bare minimum, like compared to Desmond Ridder, he's going to be an upgrade. Because he has the veteran poise. He has like, someone was talking about processing before. Like he can absolutely play ball. And in
that's what I thought Russ was going to do for the Broncos. I was like, you know what? Maybe we should have just kept going with Teddy Bridgewater, baby.
It's always just Teddy. Should have just stayed with Teddy.
Teddy, 2 gloves.
That's it. Yeah, no, I think the Chargers, there's going to be some big moves. The thing is, so like you look, for example, at the Bengals, right? It came out that they were going to release Joe Mixon, and people were like, okay. Bengals fans were like, we get it. We kind of saw this coming. But then they were able to trade for a 7th, right?
Yeah, they traded him for the Texans, right? Joe Mixon?
Yeah, going to the Texans. Here, it's just going to be a matter of, the Chargers, the entire league knows that somebody's got to go.
Yeah.
So the leverage that the Chargers have is almost non-existent. So you could see one of these guys go to a team for very little or wind up just getting straight up cut.
Yeah.
And like they're like, listen, I think Keenan Allen, like as a veteran, goes in, like he could still play.
Yeah, he's like the last guy I would move on from if I were the Chargers GM.
Allen. I'll always love Keenan Allen.
I would keep Keenan Allen. Mike Williams is so good, but
some teams
Williams and Bosa is just injuries.
Offers.
You're deciding between younger players with a lot of talent still, but they have injury problems versus Keenan Allen's battled through injuries, but he shows up. And I think for Herbert, what you want to do with him, keep Keenan Allen. You drafted your receiver last year, draft another one. You can move on from Mike Williams, and you probably got to move on from Khalil Mack because of his age. If you're looking for long-term plans. But, I kind of want to see the Bosa brothers on the same team, too. That'd be kind of, I
think
make
they're going to
the Niners great again.
I think that they'll be competing with the Buccaneers to win the division.
Two Bosas in San Francisco? Come on, baby. The most MAGA players in the NFL in the most liberal city in America. I want that chaos. I really do.
You just I just want to cover it. Yeah. I just want to cover the news.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then I want Aaron Rodgers as their president.
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, Davenport. The Lions have made some solid moves. Davenport, I don't know about. Davenport, I'm always gonna remember because the Saints traded with us for the draft pick to go draft him, and we were always appreciative of that. He just never kind of lived up to the hype, and he was always injured. So yeah, I don't know about that. If he's healthy, he could help, but that one, I don't know. That one, I don't know about. Good God.
The free agency trackers. There we go.
Let's do it. We talked about the Dolphins a bit. Vikings.
What are they saying?
Like I said, the Vikings have made some solid moves. Of course, losing Cousins is the biggest one, but
they're just talking about Detroit.
Yeah. Goff can be good for right now, and then they can kind of evaluate after this year. So I think that's originally what they were planning on doing, but Goff played better. And I still think you can give him a 3-year contract with an out after year 2 and still draft a guy.
Who's the lineman the Lions lost?
Who's the what?
Jonah Jackson, right?
There you go.
They lost Jonah Jackson. But they're bringing back Graham Glasgow, Dan Skipper. Hopefully he's coming back.
They lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to the Eagles.
I like this. I like Carlton Davis for them.
Yeah, it's solid.
He's solid.
It's solid.
But yeah, they just need another good draft. If you're a Lions fan, little pieces. Because so far they've been very good at drafting.
Yes.
Look at this. The biggest moment of my free agency period was thinking we lost Will Lutz, but then realizing we didn't.
He's like, I'm gone. Never mind.
That was scary. Honestly, that was
awesome.
I was gonna be like, what is this team doing? And I get it. They are rebuilding. Losing Russell, damn it.
It's true.
Losing Russ, prepared for it. Losing Justin Simmons, hurts, prepared for it. Trading Judy, prepared for it. But getting rid of a kicker, that's a tough one to replace. And Lutz was solid. And I didn't like that they let McManus go. Lutz was better. I was like, we are really we're stripping it all down, but he's coming back. They added Malcolm Roach, run defense, real issue for the Broncos. But I really don't want him to sign anyone, Tom. I don't want him to spend any money they don't need to. They have to commit to this. Draft your rookie, keep that money free.
Just suck.
And I think they might be freeing up enough cap to actually take the bigger cap hit on Russ this year versus next year. So
it allows you more flexibility for next year. You lost Jewel too, right?
Yeah. He was a free agent, signed with
I just saw, yeah, because
Was it the Panthers?
He was almost on my list of like guys Packers could look at, and I was kind of like, man.
Did he go to Carolina?
Jane Daniels would be the worst one, which I don't think they're going to get.
Yeah.
So
that's a nice signing for the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Who, by the way, you said we were going to talk about the Panthers. Let's talk about the Panthers.
I want to talk about the Panthers. Yes. Okay. I did a free agent stream on Tuesday, kind of just like recapping all the craziness after doing a cajillion videos.
Yeah.
And I went in on the Panthers because, and not like in a very vindictive, like anything that kind of way. It was, if you are a Panthers fan, it is so rough out there right now.
It's hard out there for a Panthers fan.
Because the Brian Burns trade, I like that trade for the Giants. They get a massive upgrade on their pass rush.
Yeah.
And I said this, if the Panthers were committed to Brian Burns being the foundational guy on that defense, then it's fine that they turn down 2 first-round picks and a second. But when you, a couple seasons later, turn around and accept that deal where you get a second and a fifth, and now you trade away major pieces, like Christian McCaffrey, we understand, right? It wasn't going to work out in Carolina. They were just going to keep him around. They were going to run him into the ground. It is what it is. Could have helped Bryce Young, maybe. Sure. That would have probably been nice, but they get something at least. DJ Moore, they get some stuff because that helped them get the first overall pick, but still, that hurts. And now Brian Burns, in a situation where they got Deontay Johnson, right, and they didn't get him for very much, which I think is solid. There are so many things to look at of, oh man, we need to fill this spot on defense, which is still young, but that's been stripped a bit. And then we need to look at our offense and basically need to do everything. It is rough, dude, to be a Panthers fan right now because the outlook is not great. Could they fix it in a couple years? Maybe, but then you still have owner worries to be concerned about.
It's
I don't know about the signing. It's kind of meh. He's like an okay player. I think he's okay. I think he talks a lot more and he's like fun, but I think he's okay.
He's pretty good. I think it's like I can't remember what the reference is. Like the Panthers negotiating. I can't remember if it's The Office or The Simpsons. But the Rams offered him a first-round draft pick for Brian Burns, and like they just don't know how to negotiate. And they're like, well, how about would you take just a second for him instead? It's like, like David Tepper, this genius businessman, doesn't know what the fuck his team's doing in terms of recouping value for premier players at premier positions. Now that said, what they did that's nice is they are investing in their offensive line. The interior of that offensive line got a lot better. And Dave Canales wants to run the ball there, right? Like that's his quote was like, you're going to hate how committed I am to running the ball.
Pound the rock, keep pounding me.
This is how you do it. You build your line, and it's not sexy. It's not fun, but hopefully it helps them. And hopefully they're able to use some of that draft capital by getting rid of Brian Burns. And Brian Burns is a very good edge rusher, but he's not like the best edge rusher in the NFL. It's not like it's TJ Watt or Nick Bosa. He's very, very good.
The potential and upside is still there too.
Yeah,
he's still young.
Brian Burns, like Saquon Barkley, which is odd, really improved his situation by going to the Giants because he's got Kayvon Thibodeau opposite of him, and they've got Dexter Lawrence on the interior of that line. And we're talking about guys in the middle of defensive lines that are going to create opportunities for edge rushers. Dexter Lawrence is one of those guys right now. Chris Jones is one of those guys. And as much as you like Christian Wilkins going to the Raiders and helping Max Crosby there, I think Brian Burns' production is going to increase with the Giants, and it's going to make the Panthers look stupid.
Dude, if they had Wink still, oh my God, they'd be blitzing every 5 seconds. So like it'll be interesting to see like how their defense also shifts this year.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree with your point. And for Chase Young, it depends on which Chase Young they get.
Dude,
right? Because there was times with the 49ers where they're like, you're not good, bro. And then there was times in the Super Bowl where he's like, I'm going to play really hard. And he looked pretty good for like that first half.
Chase he doesn't get enough credit, I think, for some of the pressure he generates, but was he taken second overall?
Who?
Chase Young?
I think
second or third. Either way, he hasn't lived up to where he was drafted.
Oh God, no. He was. I know it's been a hot minute now. Blah 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 blah. Second overall.
Second, yeah.
Second. Trey White, injury concerns. Trey White is going to be injury concerns. That's why. I mean, that's the problem. I love Trey White a lot, but it's just like, dude, he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah. I like both of these moves for the Bengals. I like Zach Moss. I like Geno Stone.
I like Geno Stone too.
They get better at safety. You know, they moved on from not last was before it was last offseason. Jesse Bates and Von Bell. Who's their safe? They have a good safety too, but like I like those ads.
Definitely solid. Definitely solid.
I'm not even going to get into the Browns signing Jameis Winston. I'll save that for later.
Cowboys haven't done a lot.
Yeah, look. See, the Cowboys did stuff, guys. Come on now.
They re-signed their long snapper.
I literally don't know either of those guys. Nothing for the Broncos. We're just talking about line. Hey, you got your man, Xavier.
Dude,
you wanted him.
So
you got him.
Effing happy. Because, like, the Packers don't often get into bidding wars and win. It's always like, they were in on the conversation. But he was my number one guy. I put out the draft, like the video. I've been talking about him for weeks now and be like, no, he would be the guy. If they legitimately want to invest in that backfield, this is the guy to do it because he can move all over the field, right? He had 116 tackles. He didn't have a single freaking touchdown in pass coverage. And he's young. He's 24 years old.
Yeah.
Like, the oldest person right now on the Packers is 32.
He's like a
average
really
age is under
expensive
25.
Brian Branch. It's like overpaying for Brian Branch. I have to have one thing to lord over you. I have to have one thing at this point.
Listen, you take care, Simone Biles. Okay.
Yeah, dude,
also,
fucking Simone.
By the way, though, like,
love it.
Because the Bears, I don't know if that got confirmed that like the Bears got into a little bit of a bidding war over Jonathan Owens. If that is true, good job, Bears. You did it. Good job. Because listen, I love Simone Biles. Her husband is not good. Or, like, it's not like her husband's not good. No, that's not a hot take. That's not me being vindictive. It is not good. It's not. I wish him well. I hope he does well. Not with the Bears, but like I wish him well. I love Simone Biles, but bro, he's not good.
I really wish I knew Olympic gymnasts so I could say he's the Olympic gymnast version of this. But I think Simone Biles is the only gymnast I know.
There you go. Oh, hey, somebody. It's what Brian Terry want to be for the kitty. I wouldn't say underwhelmed by the Lions. No, because the Lions, again, they're in a position where they don't need to do a ton. They improve their secondary. Like, that's the most important thing. And then you can fill it with the draft. Because why have the Lions been so successful these past few years? It's because they've been hitting home runs with the draft. That is where it's going to be. You know, the majority of your team building happens through the draft. Even the Rams all those years ago, when they won the Super Bowl, a lot of that was draft and develop. And I know it's crazy because they did all those big splashy trades, but they still had, I think, one of the most starters that they just drafted and developed. So the Lions, that's where their roster building is going to come from, as it should, because you're going to get great talent if you hit a home run. And on top of that, they're cheap.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give them a ton of money.
You got to remember, too, with free agency, we look at it as fixing needs for the following season.
Yeah.
But if you're an NFL general manager, you're thinking about the next season, the next 2 seasons,
multiple
the next
years.
3 seasons,
Sure.
where this is going to affect your cap in 2025, 2026. And something that we thought would not be true anymore, Tom, is the Texans giving out 100 one-year deals. Wrong. They're still like 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. It's a different approach. and they've got a quarterback now. We'll see if it works. Desmond King was very good for them last year. That's a nice signing. Getting their kicker locked in, smart. Dalton Schultz, smart.
I really like Alshire getting signed. I really, really like that signing. That one is probably my favorite of what the Texans have done so far. Danielle Hunter will be cool. Like, I think he had a nice season too last year. He's no longer with the Vikings, thank God. Joe Mixon will be solid
Autry
there, but
together, like
Alshire will be good.
Yeah, because they lost Grenard, right? That was their dude.
It'll be solid. It'll definitely be solid.
They added a lot, but I'm just still surprised that they're so committed to these 1 and 2 year deals.
Because I think, Brandon, they're still in the verge of quote unquote rebuilding. They just really hit on CJ Stroud coaching,
Will
obviously,
Anderson,
D'Amico, and then Will Anderson looked good. I think this is how we remain competitive, by signing these 1 year like cheap deals. And if they wind up being good, then awesome. And if not, then we address it in the draft. But they only have so many draft picks.
I feel like that the Texans, like, and Nick Caserio's like, I want to make sure we're actually good at drafting first.
Yeah.
Like, last year was nice, but let's make sure we're actually good at doing that, because I'm not sold yet.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
Hey.
Hey. Appreciate you, one, Pride. The Jaguars, they've done a few things here. I like the Mitch Moore signing. He's older, but I do like the Mitch Moore signing. Gabe Davis is interesting.
If they do indeed bring back Calvin Ridley, and they have Gabe Davis, and they got Zay Jones and not Christian Kirk, there are no excuses for Trevor Lawrence next year.
No.
What if Trevor Lawrence kind of sucks, Tom, and they cut him, and it's Mac Jones' job, or they move on from Trevor Lawrence?
God.
What if Trevor Lawrence is terrible next year, and the Jags are like, let's go, Mac Jones.
If Trevor Lawrence isn't the guy, which I don't even want to like put that out there, but yeah, it'd be rough.
Dude, I want Justin Fields to go to the Jags. Lawrence, Mac Jones,
Ravens
Justin Fields, same team.
They also got former Packer Darnell Savage.
Bam.
There you go.
They're making moves.
He had a good year last year. He depends on the scheme that he's going to. So
Drew Tranquill, also a good signing for the Chiefs. They're letting Willie Gay go. Irv Smith, that's fine.
Would die laughing.
They're gonna make the Chiefs. I feel like they're gonna make a move. They're gonna make one big move, and we're all gonna go.
They could, yeah. But here's the thing too, like, they don't need to do much because the wide receiver class is so ridiculously talented this year. Like, they could just go draft 2 wide receivers like on day 1 and day 2, and then they're rocking.
They should trade back for Tyreek Hill. Send Snead to the Dolphins for Tyreek Hill and give up your first round pick. Raiders got better. Fuck off. Chargers done nothing. Rams also sneaky good, I think. Jonah Jackson, that's right. They got the Lions. Jonah Jackson, Colby Parkinson, good blocking tight end. They retained Kevin Dotson, investing in their line. They're going to be competitive.
Why are the Broncos getting a running back and tight end?
Why?
That's what it says.
Well, we what? We need a tight end. Greg Dulcich has a hamstring problem. Running back. I think we got to see if Javonte can be back to his old Javonte self this season.
Have a good game against us, yeah. Yep. Probably have a good game. Probably. I heard about that Gruden is like with the Italian football team. I like saw that randomly. I think it popped up on my feed. Yeah. Okay. Patriots.
Sorry, guy. You're gone, guy.
Devontae Parker, I know there's a lot of Patriots fans who are very happy that he is gone. Austin Hooper, I feel like he's just on his quest to go to like every single team.
Yeah.
He is. I like the Antonio Gibson signing though. He's a good pass catching running back. Like he's good with that. So I think, whoever they wind up drafting, I think that's solid.
Bill Belichick would have never signed Antonio Gibson. He fumbles too much. Like that's his problem. And that's the reason he didn't get as many carries and touches as we think he deserved. So that's interesting. The Patriot way is dead. This isn't Taki's a nice signing for them on defense.
Josh Uche,
Jacoby Brissett returning home. Dude, just go out and get Jimmy G as well and then draft your quarterback. Bring back the band. Put it back together. Broncos are going to get Zach Wilson. I just feel it. It's Ryan Tannehill or Zach Wilson.
They might.
And I'm going to want to just fucking die. Dude, let me talk about Zach Wilson for a second.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Because I didn't hype him up, but I tried to give him
some credit.
Some credit for, yes, he has been bad, but his situation has been not ideal. Trust me, a season with Nathaniel Hackett and your name is Wilson, not going to work out. I don't care. And I hope he gets a shot somewhere. I said, like, he deserves a place to actually sit, like we thought he was going to do with Rodgers. Like, we're like, that's good for Zach Wilson. He can learn from Rodgers. He deserves that chance. He deserves a chance somewhere. And I believe that. I really do believe that for Zach Wilson. Just not for the Broncos, Tom. Just not for my team.
Well, why is that, Brandon? That sounds like...
Until you think he might end up on your roster.
That just sounds like you're not buying into what you're saying.
No, I think the Broncos are just in a unique situation where... Nope. We paid Stidham. Just pay him his $5 million to be your bridge, your veteran, whoever. Draft your damn quarterback and just live with it.
Solid moves. So they're just preparing to go get, their franchise QB. Also, they can make a trade for T. Higgins too. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Drew Lock did go to the Giants. Shout out Drew Lock.
Yes, he did. Not on the Seahawks anymore, Brandon.
No. Which is why Justin Fields in Seattle would make a little bit of sense.
As a backup, sure. And then, sit behind Geno, learn. If it works out, cool. If it doesn't, all right.
Because he could be the heir apparent to Geno.
Yes, he did. And now he's going to play with Bryce Young. Yes. Said Deontay Johnson was too short. You said that on Monday.
Yeah. I guess I was right.
Russell Wilson won't see him. He won't see him.
Dude, I can't even remember when I'm right, Tom. And I know, Steelers fans, they're a little bit like, why did we get rid of the guy who's always open? You just saw Russell Wilson have that in Jerry Jeudy. It will not help you, my friends.
Sure.
You need the 6'7" receiver in this draft. Where did Deontay Johnson went to Carolina?
He went to Carolina. Yeah.
And
with Bryce Young.
I liked all the people trying to say, look at the. Hold on, just let me find it. I wanted to roast it. I didn't.
The Colts, as somebody who is a fan of the team, who for years just does re-signing of their own players, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Just because making splashy moves doesn't necessarily mean it's a good move. Just saying. Yeah, Washington, nothing too crazy. They're going to be set up that if they get their franchise guy, they're the next few years, they're going to be able to put all the support around him. All the support.
They literally added one player. And I get it. Maybe they're just trying to be nice. Maybe they're trying to be the one social account trying to give Panthers fans some hope. It's the same fucking offense with Deontay Johnson, who, by the way, can get open.
He can.
But has he ever overperformed? No. Does he have dropping issues sometimes? Yes. This is the least loading offense of all loading offenses out there. Now, Chuba Hubbard might be a little bit better behind an improved line, but dear God, I had to restrain myself from being like, what are you talking about?
Maybe Tennessee. Maybe
What are
Tennessee.
you talking about?
Maybe. No, dude, it's not good. Like, and that's what I say. Like, I'm not trying to be mean to the Panthers, because, like, they know.
No.
Panthers fans were about to march on their own stadium last year. Like,
No.
they know. They don't need me to parrot this.
Yeah.
It's just, damn, dude. Like, it's tough. It is tough sledding out there right now. There's just a lot of.
If it was Deontay Johnson and T. Higgins, and they got a tight end, or they got Saquon Barkley, you'd be like, let's do it. Okay. Carolina. That's what we need to see.
Sure.
One move.
All in.
Sorry, Panthers fans. I really am.
Because I like Deontay Johnson, I think is, like, he's good. I like him as a wide receiver. Sure. I don't know how much that's going to shift things. But I agree with you. If they get like a T. Higgins or they get like a decent tight end as well, they can, like, if they go out and let's just say they get T. Higgins and then let's say they draft another wide receiver, like they just go nuts. Like, hey, let's just give him a ton of weapons, get some protection. Then at least you could see what you have in Bryce Young, because this is not even a season where like, yep, we're going to be competing for the division. It's going to be hey, let's see what we have in the players that are on our roster right now. So Jefferson could they? Sure. I don't think they would. I mean, bro, I'm not going to lie. It would tear me apart, but I would also love it if Justin Jefferson went to the Chiefs, because the entire league would suffer, mostly the AFC, so that's why I'm not overly concerned. And it would hurt the Vikings so deeply that would make me very happy.
I kind of wish the Broncos were so confident that Jerry Jeudy was not the guy that the Broncos traded Jerry Jeudy to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Dude, the dumbest thing the Vikings could do is trade Justin Jefferson while they are in the year where they're drafting a young quarterback. The greatest gift you could give a rookie quarterback in this entire draft class is fucking Justin Jefferson, my friends. Sure. Like Caleb Williams, best gift you could give him, Justin Jefferson.
Maybe day 2.
Like, which receiver would you be more excited to go throw to than Justin Jefferson if you're entering the league? Tyreek Hill, maybe. Jefferson's a lot younger. Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, older. I think literally Justin Jefferson is the best receiver on earth for a rookie quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I think the Vikings know that. I
don't think they're trading him anyway. Like, I don't think that because they're planning to get their rookie quarterback. As you said, here you go, rookie quarterback. You have Justin Jefferson to throw to.
The only way it makes sense is if they're trading him to get into the top 3 picks to get that quarterback, to give him the ammo required to get there. Right? Like, they would have to get another very good draft pick, but package those to get up to 2 or 3, because the Bears aren't going to do it.
That's what I'm saying. What, the Commanders aren't doing that, right? The Patriots aren't doing that.
We don't. I mean, you don't know for sure.
They don't have a quarterback.
Now, I'm not saying the Commanders or Patriots would do that. I'm saying the only
way
who does that?
You know who does that? The Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals go, you know what? We won't get Marvin Harrison Jr. because we'll get Justin freaking Jefferson. We'll get our wide receiver. You go try to get somebody at 4. Have a nice day.
They go all the way to 4 to get JJ McCarthy.
Sure. Okay. All right.
That would be their only move, though, right? That's the only way it makes sense, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're just going to wind up paying him $1 kajillion. So that's how that's going to go. Brandon, what do you got coming out today?
Well, hopefully I have winners and losers of free agency.
Okay.
Obviously, it's ongoing, but if not, I'll some other video that you don't need to watch.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you got, Tom? You gonna go from? You gonna dial it back, or are you trying to do 13 videos today?
No, like, because now the majority of the trades have definitely died down, and like, there's only a few big ones that could occur. I'll probably do some Chargers videos today as they make some moves, whether it's trades or cuts, and I'm going to put out every NFL fan's reaction to free agency. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. It depends on, if all things. And I've been convinced I will do if the NFL was scripted for free agency as well. Because there was enough.
Smart.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, there'll be videos coming out today. I just don't know what it's going to be yet because we'll see what the day looks like.
The worst part of today is all the tweets that say this trade is official.
Yeah.
This signing is official.
You're like, we knew that.
We know.
We know.
Nobody needs to know when it's official.
But folks, we appreciate the heck out of you. We had over 6,000 people watching live on today's GPS. We'll be back on Friday, unless there's like an insane trade. We'll be back on Friday. So stay tuned at 11 a.m. Eastern at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And you've reached your blah, 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 blah.
What?